Many people are worried about chasing perfection when they start out with the gym, and I completely disagree with that. I think that you need to chase momentum when you start the gym. Let me give you a quick example. I have a really good friend of mine who has been trying to get in shape for the longest period of time. He's always been on and off with the gym. And this individual is always chasing perfection, yet he can never get the ball rolling first. And getting the ball rolling first is exactly what he needs to do. And then he could worry about asking the nuanced questions. He could worry about getting the perfection that he wants. So I'll give you a quick example of a question that he asked me when he was in the gym and he was trying to refine his exercise technique. He was like, "Hey, Dean, should I tuck my elbows in more for my dumbbell bench press?" And I got irritated when he asked me that question. And he noticed that I was a little irritated. He's like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And I told him, "Man, you've been trying to hack it with this gym journey for the past couple of years, yet you're asking me a question that is so irrelevant to what you need to do right now. What do you need to do in the moment right now? All you need is a basic workout program, basic nutrition program, and consistency. Once you've been doing that for a couple months, then we could start looking into refining your form, refining your technique, refining your training program, nutrition program. Does that mean that when you get into working out, you have to have this most generic routine and suffer? No. But at the same time, when you aim and you shoot your shot, it's never going to be perfect in the beginning, right? This is with anything in life, whether you're trying to get good at a skill, whether you're trying to be an influencer, you're trying to be an engineer, you're trying to be a doctor, anything like that, you're never going to get things perfect on the first shot. So you have to have that one go around before you could come back, regroup, and say, okay, we need to fix this, we need to fix that, yada, yada, yada. And that irritated me so much because I'm like, man, you've been wanting to get into killer shape for the longest time, but you've been focusing on the wrong stuff. You've been focusing on refining your exercise execution. And don't get me wrong, exercise execution is important, but you need to be worrying about the intensity of your workouts, showing up to the gym day in and day out, sticking to your nutrition regimen. Those are the important factors that people need to worry about. Let me give you an example, right? Let me give you an example in order to provide more clarity. Mr. Beast. Did Mr. Beast start out with the high production quality YouTube videos, with the really creative YouTube video ideas? No. If you go back to his first YouTube video and compare it to his last YouTube video, there's a big difference. There's a big discrepancy between the two videos. And he got good through repetition, right? Each each part, as I like to define it, is a cycle, right? There's always a season. You do things for a little bit, you try them out, and after a period of time goes by, you say, okay, what can we do better to refine this? What can we do better to execute this better? And that's how things work. It's literally an endless process. It's an endless cycle of just refining things. But in the beginning, I don't think your goal should be perfection. I think your goal should be, let's develop some consistency. Let's develop some more frequency. Let's just get in the gym and get the session done. Because I think a lot of people can get trapped in their own head and think, I got to do this perfect. If I don't do it perfect, it means nothing. It means nothing. And they also may think that they may not be making progress because of something so, small, and it has such a little impact, like refining their technique, right? Let's be real here. Your problem's not refining the technique. Your problem is giving the intensity in the workouts. Just showing up as super frequently, right? Adhering to the program. So you got to pivot and see what the real issue is. You got to diagnose, hey, what is the problem here? Let's be real, guys. What is the problem here? And this is the thing that people lack knowledge in. And there's no problem with that. I'm more than happy to explain it calmly to people that, hey, you need to just focus on gaining a bit more momentum rather than focusing on small, you know, I guess, positive form refinements, right? You just don't need to be doing that right now. Don't get me wrong, you can do them. If it's an easy, quick adjustment, by all means, go and do it. But it's not your problem. It's not why you still have 30 pounds of fat on your frame. You know what I mean? So focus on the big picture, focus on the fundamentals, focus on just showing up first. Then, as time goes on, you could switch things up. I'll give myself as an example. When I started going to the gym, I had no clue with what I was doing, right? I had no freaking clue, like, on how to, like, execute stuff or just do anything in the gym. I didn't know how to, like, set up my own routine. But I still went in and I just made shit up. I literally made it up. I literally just went in and started doing pull-ups and push-ups. I couldn't even do one pull-up, but I would still jump up on the bar and try nonetheless. I always tried, right? I did that for 2 months and I said, okay, we got to change something here, right? We got to refine this a little bit. But I was showing up consistently. And that consistency allowed me to be more interested in the gym. It 100% allowed me to be more interested in the gym because I'm like, hey, I'm showing up here. I got to make this work. I got to be better. But I was consistent. That's the scaffolding to the gym journey. That is literally the scaffolding that you need to your gym journey. Let's get this to be second nature. Let's just get here and do what we got to do and then refine it as we go. Now, if I'm training somebody, right, you got me. So I could guide you in the right direction right away with your training program, your nutrition program, and so on and so forth. But if you're not working with anybody and you need to figure things out on your own, just go in and try. Go in and try and refine things as you go. But don't skip the fundamentals. Do not overlook the fundamentals because the fundamentals is more important than anything else. You could vary programs, for the rest of your life, but if you ain't consistent, those programs don't mean squat. So make sure you got the fundamentals down. Make sure you were able to show up. I know I sound like a broken record, and people are probably like, yo, this is so self-explanatory. Why are you telling me or pointing me, at the obvious stuff? I know that. But people run into the same problem. People run into the same problem, and they will forever run into the same problem. They always want to, blame their lack of progress or something else on my form, man. It's my form. I don't know, my chest is not developing because of my form. No, it's probably because your exercise intensity and because you're not coming here too often, right? Yes, you have the goal, you have the motivation to go to the gym, but you're not doing it. Your action speaks louder than your words. So make sure that you got the fundamentals down, then you could start making the nuanced refinements. When you're in elementary school, right? I'm pivoting here, but when you're in elementary school, you start off with basic sciences, right? Or math. Let's start with math. You start out with addition, subtraction. Then you go up to multiplication, division. Then you go into parentheses. Then you go into exponents. Then you go into, geometry. You go into calculus, pre-calc, so on and so forth. You advance as you go with time, right? And once you've been doing this for a long time, assuming you're putting in the effort that's needed, you become a monster. You become a beast. You become unstoppable, right? If you have that ambition. So things take time. Things take time, most certainly. And don't try to skip steps. Don't try to cut corners because cutting corners is only going to set you back much further, right? If you don't have the consistency built up, don't worry about getting the form right. Worry about building up the consistency first. Then you could start discussing, hey, what refinements do we need to make? Also, another thing, it does not mean be an idiot in the gym and just try whatever. Think logically in your head, right? be strategic, right? I know you guys can do that, right? Be careful in the gym, of course. I want you guys to execute things without injuring yourself. But you got to go in and try things and be careful, of course. Be safe. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.